Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm doing a little bit of a video on my way back from work. I'm kind of taking a little bit of a break. But with that said, I wanted to talk to everybody about the idea of helping out your other herping buddies that live out and around your area and everything. Because all of us are always looking for new snakes and all that. And we all know that sometimes it's harder to sell our snakes than we would hope. But I mean, if you're going to go out and buy a new snake, or you're looking for adults, babies, whatever, why go through the trouble of buying from some overpriced pet shop like PetSmart or Petco, unless you really have to, I guess, when you got Joe Schmo who breeds corn snakes or boas or whatever, who lives, yeah, it might be a 20 to 30 minute drive, but the quality of your snake is going to be guaranteed by your breeders versus PetSmart, where it's bred at a big old mill and hundreds of snakes are kept in totes and shit together. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather know what the parents look like. I would rather know what the genetics are for the babies, all that fun stuff. Even if I'm not going to breed them, I kind of want to know just for the sake of having the option and knowing what I'm working with if I ever decide to. So, I mean, with that said, you guys, you should always check out Craigslist or corn snake forums or King Snake Classifieds, I think is what it's called. There's websites and everything all over the place where you can find people doing dirty, cheap sales on snakes, lizards, tanks, whole setups, pet supplies, everything. You can find it all on Craigslist and everything. You just got to spend a little bit of time and look. I mean, yeah, you might spend 2 weeks checking it out every day, but with that said, check it out every day for 2 weeks and you end up saving $100, $150, because I mean, if I break it down for a run-of-the-mill corn snake, you go to PetSmart and buy a corn snake, you're looking at $70 for a fancy corn snake, as they like to call them. And they don't know what it is half the time. It could be a snow corn snake, and they're just gonna call it fancy because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. But just go down there, spend $70 on a snake. Let's say you don't want to do 10 gallon because you want your snake to have a comfortable tank for a good long time. So you go straight to 20 gallon. I think you're looking at another 100. Then you're looking at a heating pad for about another 35 or 40 out here in Arizona. So we're looking at 140 plus 70. We're talking about $210 already. We haven't even got to the house, the water dish, the bedding, the food. We haven't touched any of that yet, and we're already at $210. And then after mice at PetSmart, you're talking $12 for a box of pinkies, or $12 for just one medium rat, which is ridiculous. I made the mistake of doing that once, and yeah, I'm not gonna buy frozen there anymore. But so you got another $12. We're talking about $222, and still no hide or water dish. After a good-sized hide that's actually going to hold your snake for the first 2 years, that's a $20 hide. Then a water dish that'll be a good water dish for a year or two. That's another about $15 to $20 water dish for at least a good one. We're talking about over $260 just to get your snake started. And I mean, and we're not even counting some people who will go out and buy a lamp and a UVB bulb for the sake of maybe helping intensify some of their snakes' colorations and patterns. And so, I mean, if you add that in there, you got $20 for a new, even a little 60-watt light, and then another $20 for the UVB bulb. So we're talking about almost $300 to get started with a corn snake at PetSmart, right? Now, I'll break it down based on the way I got my adult corn set up here recently. And I'm sorry that this video is at the car. I just figured it'd be a good idea to give you guys a little bit of an idea of how to maybe save yourselves a shit ton of money. Because I don't know about you guys, I love the hobby, but I don't want to go and spend unrealistic retail prices at PetSmart for my stuff. So I found a 40-gallon tank. Mind you, that's like $150 brand new at PetSmart. I found a 40-gallon tank for $35. Yeah, I drove 20 minutes each way to get the tank, so add another $5 each way, so $10 in gas, 45 bucks for a more than good condition 40-gallon tank, right? I spent another 20 bucks on two 24-quart bags of Aspen bedding. All right, so we're at $65, and I have the bedding covered, and I have the tank covered. Oh, I didn't even include bedding in the freaking PetSmart price. Okay, so we're at $265. Add bedding in there, 20 bucks for bedding, and you got $285, if not $300, if I did any of my math wrong. So, anyways, back to my setup. 20 bucks for bedding, and that's enough bedding to probably redo my bedding twice. All the bedding, not just pick poops out every once in a while, but redo all the bedding in my tank twice for 20 bucks. A huge tank that I will never have to upgrade for a corn snake for 45 bucks. So we're at 65. You go to a reptile shop or a private breeder for rats. Mind you, you're gonna want to check out the breeders if it's a private breeder for rats. Make sure they're feeding the rats stuff that's gonna increase the nutritional value for them. But most rat breeders will sell their rats, their pinkies, for anywhere from 60 cents to maybe like $1.20 a piece. So you get, let's just say you get 6 pinkies at 60 cents a piece. 60 cents, 120, 120, 240, $3.60 for 6 pinkies versus PetSmart's 12. All right, so you got $6. You got six bucks? No, you got $3.60. My bad. $3.60 on pinkies. So we're at 65. We're at $68.50. We have your tank, your food, and your bedding all covered already, right? And I mean, if you're willing to be a little bit more flexible on the age of your snake, I've seen corn snakes, king snakes, bull snakes, ball pythons. Like, yeah, they're not normally the high-end value morphs, because if somebody's breeding high-end value morphs, they know what they're selling, so they're not going to sell them dirt cheap. They will sell them cheaper than retail price still, but for like your normal run-of-the-mill like A-male corn snake, I find adults, juveniles, hatchlings all day running for anywhere from 20 bucks to maybe $30 or $40 a piece. So let's spike it up to 50. Let's say 50 bucks for an albino A-male corn snake, right? That's still 20 bucks cheaper than it is at PetSmart. So after bedding, snake, tank, and food, we're at a whole $88, right? Now, a lot of tanks I've noticed you will find them selling for maybe 60 or 70 bucks, but they'll come with a heating pad. So let's say you found a 40-gallon tank selling with a heating pad for 60 bucks. Okay, so we add another 20 bucks to it. So we're at $108, and all of the most expensive stuff is already covered for your snake, right? I know this is a long-ass video, but it takes a little bit of time to explain all of this. All right, so then you go, and I've found there's a guy out here selling reptile supplies for, he's selling hides and stuff for as cheap as $5 a piece. And so you go pick up 2 hides, so you can have a hot and a cold hide, right? And that's 10 bucks. You pick up a water dish for another 5 bucks from the same guy, so 15 bucks. You got 2 hides, you got your water bowl, and let's say you want to spend a little bit of fun money. You got fun money now. See, this is the cool part. You got fun money, so now you can go into PetSmart and pick up a maybe some of that the Exoterra bed matting. So you can glue it up to the backdrop to give it a green background. Okay, so you spend, for a 20-gallon tank, you might need to buy 2 small ones, so you're looking at like 16 bucks at PetSmart or whatever, or you might find somebody that sells it cheaper. I haven't seen that sell for cheaper on online, so I'm not going to tell you can find it. But 16 bucks, we're at a grand total of $124 roughly, 125 bucks, and we're starting to spend fun money, you guys. So with that said, PetSmart's $300 for the bare bone minimum versus $125 for a tank that's going to look a lot nicer. A tank you're never going to have to upgrade from. Because you'll eventually, for the sake of your snake, you're eventually going to want to move up to a 40 gallon just for the sake of making it look more comfortable, give it more space, whatever. Because I know I said I wasn't going to move up from a 20. I ended up moving up from a 20. So that's down the road, that's going to be another... And if you start shopping smart late in the game like I did, that's another $40-50 later on down the road. So, in all, not including food all through your snake's raising and all that shit, you're looking at $340 after you upgrade your tank. And working the system on Craigslist and online, you're looking at $125. Let's say you spend another $50 on plants, fake plants, or Malaysian wood, or just some bark, whatever, some stuff for your snake to climb on. You're looking at under $200. Under $200 for a tank that's going to look a hell of a lot better. It's going to have a lot more in it. It's going to be a lot more comfortable for your snake. Don't get a 40-gallon tank if you have a hatchling snake of any kind. All right, that's not cool. For corn snakes and king snakes and a lot of the smaller snakes like gopher snakes and everything, that is way too big for them. I'm sure there's people that have had positive experiences with it, but normally that stresses the hatchling out to no extent. It's too much space. And I know there's like, oh, well, what about the wild? Whatever. This isn't the wild, you guys. Housing your snakes in captivity, in some cases, will stress the snake out by default. So you don't want to give any more room for the snake to stress. So if you're getting a hatchling, start out with a $5 or $10 freaking 10-gallon tank you can find on Craigslist. All right. But with that said, you guys, you can save like $150. And if you get the bare bone minimum, you can save all the way up to like $175 if you shop smart and patient, and you help out your fellow herpers online who are trying to just dump off some breeders, or they're trying to get out of the game, so they're selling their stuff cheap, whatever. You're helping your fellow breeders out and hobbyists out. You're helping yourself out by saving a fat chunk of money. And you're keeping the hobby alive by, again, helping out your fellow breeders. Because PetSmart and Petco and all these big, huge companies are not what make the hobby the hobby. The hobby is ran by the breeders, the hobbyists, the collectors, the small reptile shops, the expos. That's what keeps this hobby going. It's not PetSmart and Petco, you guys, all right? So with that said, take it easy. Help out your fellow herpers. Subscribe to me. I subscribe to everyone who tells me they subscribe to me, you guys. So take it easy and have a good day, all right? Later.